Hey everybody, Doug Addison here. It's Thursday, March 15th, 2018, and I want to just check in with you and give you some insight on how to apply the prophetic word I just released for this month. It's called Your Perfect Solution for Your Perfect Storm, how to discover this. And we are under a time right now where it's considered a perfect storm. That's where the enemy can hit you from more than one place at the same time. And it could be happening in your life, your personal life, your financial life, or even in a bigger thing. I believe that the Lord is going to move in this. The enemy's trying to hit us in the areas of fear with all the shootings and tragedies and everything going on. And then at the same time, try to hit you with discouragement. So I've been praying over this for a while, and the Lord showed me just last month in February, I had an encounter with the Lord, and he said, I'm now releasing perfect solutions for your perfect storm. Well, you gotta press in for it. I hadn't even gotten mine, but I did see that I saw people standing before a closed door in darkness. Now, these were believers. These weren't, people in darkness for any reason, like immoral reason. This is because the Lord had not opened the door. There was a closed door. And I know that I felt that way for sure. I felt like, wow, I know that the Lord's called me to something. In fact, 10 years ago yesterday, March 14th, 2008, I was in England, in Dudley, England, and I was in the middle of a big perfect storm. I tell you, it was a really rough time. And I met a woman from South Africa, a prophetess named Barbara Clausen, who forever changed my life. And it was the first introduction for me to the courts of heaven. And she was I had never met her, but I was filling in for Larry Randolph, who couldn't make it to that conference in England. So they sent me. It was just a few days after my birthday in 2008. And the Lord always visits me on my birthday. I have a great time. That year, though, all hell broke loose in my life. And everything, and I mean, we had a split in our ministry. Everything, you name it, was going on. And I didn't understand the situation. But she gave me a prophetic word, even called me by name. She said, I don't know you, which was true. But she said, I was going to contact the pastor running the conference, because she said, the Lord said, Randolph will not be here, but Addison will. And the Lord said, when you meet Addison, you're supposed to give him this word. And while she got my attention, she got my name, she got the situation, and she said, I saw Satan taking you into the court of heaven, and a long line of people are going to accuse you, and Satan has asked for the death penalty over you. I'm like, whoa, that's not exactly an encouraging word, but it made sense with what was going on. And she said this. She said, the Lord is not in the judgment seat against you, but you'll fight this by not fighting back. You must not defend yourself, and just work on your character. Wow. Well, guess what? She also gave me a word for the first time ever that about what's going on right now. About I had released part of this in the Prophetic Forecast Volume 3. But the part about she said, you're called to be a chief cornerstone, one of the cornerstones of a new move of God coming. And it was now I know that it's the billion soul harvest. I'm going to be part of it, not but part of it. But now here it is, 10 years later. I've gone through a perfect storm to get this. I've walked through this time where I just said, everything was so difficult over the last 10 years, pretty much. I had massive deaths in my family. I don't want to give the enemy glory here, but sick for 4 years. I just got healed. I just got some strategies going on, and I'm telling you, this is a time. 10 years later, 10 years to the day yesterday, the Lord pulled me in the court of heaven, and he says, I'm now going to give you the solution to getting out of this. And I knew it all started about 40 days ago, the solution. And today, in the court of heaven, the death penalty was canceled over me. And I want to release this to you, because there's an anointing right now to overcome things that the enemy has been trying to stop for a long, long time. And so read the prophetic word I released, a solution, your perfect solution to your perfect storm. And I hadn't had the solution yet, but this week the Lord gave it to me. And there was a strategy I want to give you. And it was Psalm 139:16 is that he says this, I saw your unformed body, and all the days of your life were ordained for me, written in your book before one of them came to be. Now, this is not about predestination. This is about the fact that the Lord He has all of our days. Our days are written in a book. And so it dawned on me, wow, I've read that so many times. I was praying. The Lord said, pray that you can see or understand in the Spirit. You don't have to see it with your eyes, but pray that you can get what your book says for today or this week. So I did. I prayed that. I said, Lord, you said we have a book and every day is written. So what's on today? And wow, I got the strategy then to begin to pray just a few days ago that then got me into the court of heaven to release this 10-year sentence against me, house arrest, in the midst of it all. Just say it. We're about to see something. So I tell you, I want to encourage you to pray that and also to prepare for the next 2 weeks, because in 2 weeks it's going to be Passover. It's one of the Jewish holidays where they celebrate the fact that Moses got the strategy from God to get the spirit of death to pass over them by putting blood on the doorpost. But listen, every year God can give you the prophetic strategy for him to pass over you, for any tragedies to pass over you this year. So it's going to be on March 30th through April 7th. It's 8 days. And I'll be talking more about it later. But I just want to prepare you now to begin to ask the Lord how to get that solution for your perfect storm, and watch as he opens the doors for these things. Now, I did if you want to understand the courts of heaven more about what I'm talking about, I did 2 online trainings, 2 hours each, and you get the notes and everything. They're only going to be available for 2 more weeks. They go away after this. But it is Understanding the Courts of Heaven Part 1, and then a few months later, we did Part 2. And it will really help you to develop a case in heaven, to understand how to operate. But also for today, if you can't buy that, today I have a blog that just came out, which is about the different types of courts, the courtrooms, I go over the 6 types of courts in the courts of heaven in the blog. And so just go to my website, DougAddison.com, and you can click on the blog, the court of mediation. That's the reconciliation. That's where I operate most, is the reconciliation. Court of petitions. You can read it over on my blog as well. And also, we're going to, there's a new podcast I just released today with the overseer or apostle over my life was Cheon. We're part of HIM, Harvest International Ministries. And this podcast is so rich. It's episode number 46. It's called California Dreamin'. As California goes, so goes the world. And Che talks about the strategy the Lord gave him. Now, he's been part of many moves of God. And the Lord gave him a strategy on how, by the way, just so I can say this is different than the 40-day strategy that we're praying right now with Keith Ferrante and Lou Engle and I. This is a different thing. We're also praying and fasting for that, but this is a revelation that the Lord gave Che and his ministry to be able to plant 10,000 churches in the areas of the undocumented immigrants. And we would see, this is where you have to, hey, listen, you got to listen to this, because we need to lay down our political understanding of things and realize those are people. And the Lord has given someone a strategy to reach people. And he's already started, and it's going in and helping. There's so many of the undocumented immigrants, especially in LA where we live. And you can either argue about it, or you can say, Lord, let's see a revival. Let's see a revival in these people. How great would that be? And I've never heard, wow, the transformation. Seriously, he even gives the strategy about how The Lord showed him that California can be flipped from a liberal state to a conservative state. He's not about Republican or Democrat here, but it could be doing this by reaching these wonderful people who are mostly Catholic, by the way, who do not believe in abortion. He has this complete strategy the Lord laid out. It blew me away. I was like, wow, I was just dumbfounded. So it's a really great podcast, Spirit Connection podcast on my website. Just go over there and please take a listen to it because it's so, so rich. Also, hey everybody, we're hiring here at Inlight Connection, and we need a digital and content marketing manager. We're a virtual ministry. We have an office in Santa Maria, and we have a small team there, but 90% of us are not in that area. And so we actually have a full team. This is a full-time job in our management position. A person who has a passion for overseeing things. This is overseeing a department, but you have to have an understanding on how to bring direction and leadership and support our content and marketing team of social media, graphic design, our content writers. Now, we're a ministry, but I'm not ashamed to say that we have a marketing department. My goodness, Jesus even understood this, and I actually have a Spirit-led marketing strategy the Lord gave me. So that's what we're looking for, is someone who's Spirit-led in the midst of this to work with us. Please take a look at it. Also, we need a visual designer. Remind you, we're still in the 40-day fast of negativity, March 1st to April 9th. If you haven't seen that video yet of the webcast of Lou Engle, Keith Ferrante, and I, boy, did my life change. We have it on my website, DougAddison.com/CA fast. And my life changed the day after Lou Engle called me, and I began to get healed that day, my immune system and everything. So the Lord's preparing us right now, friends, for revival. I'm so excited. What is release the solution, the perfect solution for your perfect storm? Lord, bring it right now. We ask now that you would rise us above all of the storms, all of the political stuff, and bring us into your time, your alignment right now in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. Bless you all. See you soon.